Statue.
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news. Now, I'm going to film this episode in a bit of a different way. I'm going to do this as a live stream. So I'm going to have channel members watching and commenting while I'm talking about these items. And then afterwards, I'm going to have a call-in section where Patreon supporters and channel members can actually call into the show and be a part of the good news episode. So that comes up in the post-show at the end of this video. So look forward to that. So we got a whole bunch of items to talk about. So let's not stand on ceremony. Mr. Wayne, let's talk about him. So, first up on the show, Hasbro have revealed their Gorr the God Butcher figure. No, not the rubbish-looking skinny Christian Bale guy, but the proper comic book one. This is an Amazon exclusive. I'm not going to talk too long about him because I already did a video on him yesterday. Clicky click. But I will say, the face sculpt looks fantastic. So cool, but he does then lose a few points because apparently his feet don't look like Gorr's feet should. Apparently his hands aren't quite what Gorr's should look like. And I've seen some art where his body is just the way that it is with painted on details. But then I've seen some other art where he's actually got what could be sculpted sort of bits like bone and stuff like sticking out of his chest. And it's like, Hasbro, you could have gone the extra mile and done a super duper Gorr, and instead you just kind of went like the basic version. But what we do get for that basic version is also two different heads which look lovely. They look gorgeous. The Necro sword kind of growing out of his hand as a swappable hand. That's really cool. But for £30, that's more of a high-end premium price for a single Marvel Legend. And considering that he's not pinless, that's like, it's a bit tough for me. Again, if it was $20, I'd be on it like a car bonnet. But for 30, I'm out. Speaking of Hasbro, they have announced they will have a Hasbro Pulse event September 30th to October 1st. So prepare your wallets, because they are touting everything in their little promo video they put together. Not just Marvel Legends, not just G.I. Joe, not just Transformers or Black Series. We got some Indiana Jones stuff, apparently. That's got me kind of excited. I want to see what they do with Dr. Jones. So this is going to come up, as I said, at the end of September. So we got a little while to gird our loins and get ready for what this might include. But honestly, I feel they've got some tricks up their sleeve. Maybe they're going to use this little event to announce their HasLab. So keep refreshing your browser over that weekend. I'm assuming it's a weekend, because that could be a big one. Going over to pro wrestling now, AEW Jazzwares have shown two new figures that are Target exclusives, and they're two of the four pillars of AEW. We've got a Sammy Guevara and a Darby Allin, and these look kind of what you would expect, I guess. I mean, there's some nice details going on, especially with the paintwork. I think Darby Allin is always going to be a very toyetic human being. With all of the makeup and the skateboard and the accessories, that's really cool. He just lends himself to being made into a toy. And the artwork on his skateboard of him and CM Punk, the half face kind of thing, that's really nice. I like the look of that. And then Sammy is just Sammy. This is very much heel Sammy, which is the only real acceptable Sammy, with his tongue sticking out, looking like an idiot. That's what he does. So these two guys are Target exclusives. I don't have a release date, but just check in with your local Target. Going on over to statues now, and Iron Studios have shown off a whole bunch of stuff, but just one that caught my eye was their Shredder statue. Just wanted to highlight with a few pictures here. I couldn't see a price, but if I can find one before uploading this, I'm going to put it down below so you can just see what they're asking for it, but I just wanted to highlight it. I think it looks cool. Shredder as a character, as a villain, is one of my favorite designs. There's something awesome about Edo period samurai looking gear. I just think that in itself looks really cool. Put it in an iconic 80s villain kind of format. That's always going to catch my eye. So statues generally, as a rule, they're pretty expensive. So judge this one as you will, but just as far as pretty pictures go, this is a good looking Shredder. Going over to McFarlane DC now, they have revealed an image of their Tim Drake. Actually, is it Tim Drake? Let me take a little look at my notes here. Yes, it is Tim Drake. I don't know DC characters. Get out of here. What is he, the son of Superman or something? Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not that bad. Tim Drake Robin. Yes, a red Robin? Is that what they call him when he's all super red? I guess that's what the name would imply. But either way, it's McFarlane's Robin. And this promo shot, he actually looks kind of nice. I'm so torn on McFarlane figures. There's some kind of like uncanny valley thing I just can't really fully get on board with, being like, yes, I like the way you look, but sometimes with the right character, the right angle, they look pretty sweet. And this Tim Drake, I gotta say, judging by this picture, he actually does look pretty cool. Speaking of McFarlane and Batman, they have shown their set for their animated Batman figure, and this looks super gorgeous. I'm a big nostalgic fan of the 90s animated Batman, and this just looks like they've just taken that silhouette, that tableau, if you will, of... Okay, when I see this, I can hear the theme tune. Do, 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 do. Was that the Batman theme tune? Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure if I was doing something else there, some random John Williams thing. It's like, no, Dave, that's Indiana Jones. But yeah, it looks super pretty. Don't have a price or release date yet. I'm going to try and look those up before this video comes out. Tune in and see if I got any further information. But I mean, just looking at these images, this is where McFarlane do come into their own, I think, where they're not trying to go overly realistic. Instead, they're recreating a cartoony kind of style, and that works really great. I think by the looks of these pictures, they've done a really good job with this. Moving on over to Street Fighter now, and Storm Collectibles have shown images of their new Juri figure from Street Fighter V. Juri's one of the latter introduced characters, but she's become very popular very quickly. Apparently quite popular in the foot fetish community, because she fights in bare feet and all of her attacks are based on kicks. That's like all she does is just kicks. And it's like, hey, there's something for everybody out there. I gotta say though, just as a standalone figure, she looks very cool. Honestly, I'm a little bit gutted that when it came to making the decision about what Storm Collectibles line to choose, I went Mortal Kombat, and I'm starting to think I should have gone Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat figures, they're very hit and miss from Storm, but Street Fighter seems to be all killer, no filler. Every single figure they release just looks wicked. This Juri looks super awesome with the different power effects and the swooshes and all that kind of stuff. Different heads, the awesome purple costume. This is a figure that I would almost be tempted to get just for the sake of just having it as a standalone figure. Honestly, I mean, I love playing Street Fighter, but I suck at it. But I still enjoy playing it. But I wouldn't say like, you know, oh yeah, Juri, she's my main. No, I wouldn't even know how to play properly with her. I'm a Ken and Ryu kind of man. Dragon Ball, Shoryuken, yeah, that's me. Anything more complex than that, I'm out of my depth. Now we're going to go from comics to video games over to movies. Hiya Toys are continuing their Godzilla range with a Mothra figure, and this is straight out of the Legendary sort of universe. So it's a very realistic looking Mothra. Basically just looks like a giant moth. So if you don't like bugs or anything in your house, then you probably wouldn't want this, because this is pretty big. It's got a wingspan of 14.5 inches, apparently. So that's a big ass moth. But it's funny because obviously the wings are the most impressive thing, just by virtue of what it is. The actual body seems quite small and spindly, but I'm sure knowing Hiya Toys, there's a lot of very intricate detail going on there, but you can't really make out too much of it just from these pictures. But if you're a kaiju fan, if you love your Godzilla monsters, then this is going to be a good one for you. Only $50 apparently as well, which when you're talking about these kinds of figures, it's kind of surprising. You're like, I was expecting that to be more painful. But yeah, Mothra looks kind of fun, so look out for her soon. This is her, isn't it? Yeah, Mothra's a girl. Moving on over to Hot Toys now, they have shown images of their Iron Man Mark 7 open armor suit. And this is just a little curiosity. I mean, never ever gonna knock Hot Toys, because man, when you think they've run out of things to make, they're like, what if we did an open armor? And it's like, you son of a biscuit. You came up with something else now. So we've got some images here of their open armor Iron Man suit. And it looks pretty. I mean, I know that there are probably people like the 7 richest sultans of Saudi Arabia who can afford all the Hot Toys. And if you have an armory, an Iron Man Hot Toys armory, that's just going to look insane. And then in the middle of that, you can have Tony Stark stepping out of his Iron Man suit. Yeah, I would mark out for that. If I did win the lottery, you can guarantee the money wouldn't be wasted on me. I would be using it to buy all that kind of cool stuff, starting with a Hot Toys collection. Alright guys, we're going back over to statues now, but this is one that you're really gonna like, hopefully. PCS Studios have shown images of their Dungeons & Dragons Tiamat statue. Tiamat is the huge, big, multi-headed dragon from the 80s cartoon that we all grew up with. And just, you can see the pictures as I'm talking about it. Just looks absolutely incredible. Just mind-blowing what they've done. It should be mind-blowing. The base version costs about, well, just under $2,000. So it's a lot of money. But you do get a lot of dragon for your buck there. I mean, how many? Does he have 5 heads? 6 heads? That's a lot of heads going on there. But if you don't have, like, you know, enough bang for your buck, you can spend a few more bucks, just over $2,000. I think it's $2,145, and you can get the deluxe version that actually has electric lights inside the mouths of all of the dragons. So you have these different colors for the different power effects that each dragon head has, because each dragon has a different type of breath. There's like fire, ice, acid, all sorts of stuff, and they got different lights to show that. It looks incredible. And again, if I had £2,000 to waste, man, I'd happily waste it on this. Speaking of statues, but one that's a lot more affordable, the Good Smile Company are putting out a Street Fighter II Cammy statue. And at about 7 inches tall, this is a steal at $35. I couldn't quite believe it when I saw it, but that is what it's being listed as. I don't know if we're going to get like the bum's rush at some point where they'll be like, oh, did we say 35? No, that's not right. But maybe it is. It just is a basic statue. It's not one of these crazy, insane bells and whistles things. It's just no articulation statue of Cammy looking pretty cool. And look, you guys know me. I'm a lover of cheesecake, and Cammy, she's ridiculous in the best way. So honestly, for $35, I would genuinely be kind of tempted. But unfortunately, statues just aren't my thing. They gotta have some articulation. They gotta have something that makes them an action figure, not just a figure. But still, as far as cheesecake Street Fighter characters go, Cammy's pretty awesome. It's a bit of a statue-heavy episode because we also have Prime 1 Studios showing images of their Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond statue. And yeah, I just want to take this time to show you more pretty pictures because I love sharing how freaking insane some of these look. The Batman Beyond costume is one that's really fun to reinterpret in different ways by different figure makers, because obviously in the cartoon, it's just a sleek, smooth bodysuit. But of course, it is actually a technological, crazy, gadget-filled, almost like an Iron Man costume. So when you start making more detailed figures, especially statues, you can really go into making it look like a full-on techno-organic skin that he's wearing. And this looks amazing, with the different face sculpts as well. One that has slightly bigger white eyes to really sort of replicate a real-life version of the cartoon-looking character. I just think that's awesome. Should be awesome because, checking my notes here, he ain't cheap. So the basic version, or actually I think all versions, $1,499. So yeah, that ain't cheap. And it's going to be released between November and February. November of 2023, February 2024. So if you want to get them, you got a while to save. And finally, at least for statues at least, let me read this one off here. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy Terry Bogard Bishoju statue. That's a lot of words to rattle off, but basically we have, first of all, Bishoju statues, I love those looks. They look really, really cool. And this is a gender-bent version of, is it Fatal Fury? Terry Bogard's from? So this is the female version of him, which apparently is an actual video game. They had, do I have in my notes what game it was from? No, but it was from, I think, is it Fatal Fury or Final Fight? Help me out in the comments there. But still, I recognize the classic version of the character. This is a female one in statue form. Looks kind of fun, $129.99, and it's going to be released in April of 2023. So if you're a gender-bent not Final Fantasy, Fatal Fury, Final Fight, Fatal Frame, words are hard. Just look at the pretty pictures. That's all you're getting from me. Now going over to obscure manufacturers. And when I say obscure, that just means I've not heard of them. That doesn't actually mean that they're good, bad, or indifferent. I think there's a lot of things where I'd be like, that's pretty obscure. And people would be like, no, Dave, it's really well known. Just your finger is not on the pulse. Okay. But Bob's Toys are making a 1/12 scale, very cartoony looking Jack from The Shining figure, and this looks so fun. The Shining is one of my favorite movies. I was gonna say horror movies, but no, doesn't even need that caveat. Just one of my favorite movies. Jack Nicholson, just the performance of a lifetime as the driven insane by ghosts caretaker Jack Torrance of the Overlook Hotel. This figure looks amazing. I love the cartoony kind of design they've gone for. It's almost like if Disney remade The Shining as an animated feature. Man, I would love to watch that. But this guy comes with all these different heads. You've got like the Frozen version as well. That's not a Disney reference. And also the door frame for him to like poke his head through. So much fun and creativity has gone into this figure. I really, really love the look of it. So I'm going to keep my eyes out as to when it's going to be released, how much it might cost, because this is one that I might just want to get just because it just looks so fun and creative. And that's one of the things I love about action figures is, I don't want to get things that are just like repaints and stuff. I want stuff that someone's gone, how can we make this in a clever, fun, imaginative kind of way? And that's what this guy looks like. I'm really impressed. Going over to TV news now, and Netflix have released more information on their upcoming Bioshock film. And, not film, TV show. And the problem is, saying Netflix TV show and beloved property that I adore, that normally sends a chill down my spine, having just dealt with their Resident Evil TV show abomination, which apparently has not been greenlit for a second season. Surprise, surprise. I'm not really impressed with Netflix's track record for converting beloved video games into TV shows. However, Bioshock might be the exception to the rule. So we've got some more information here I'm going to glance down at. Francis Lawrence, who did The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, I Am Legend, and Slumberland, is set to direct the live-action adaptation of Bioshock with Michael Green, who wrote the screenplay for Logan, Blade Runner 2099, and Death on the Nile. Now, I haven't seen Death on the Nile, but Logan and Blade Runner, that's a pretty good pedigree there. So that gives me some hope. But whether or not that's all going to come to fruition, we don't know. But just the fact that they're at least moving forward with Bioshock, that's kind of a cool thing. And finally, if any of you guys have ever wanted superpowers, well, you might be in luck, because G Fuel have partnered with The Boys to bring their own brand of, Compound V onto the market. I almost forgot the name of it there. So yes, in The Boys, a big plot point is Compound V, this serum which is essentially like super soldier serum. It will give you superpowers. And the energy drink, G Fuel, were like, we could do something with this. So now you can actually go out and get yourself an official The Boys Compound V energy drink, which honestly, it's stupid, but I actually kind of dig it. As far as corporate synergy goes, the amount of nasty stuff they put in energy drinks, it might as well be Compound V. So if you're a fan of The Boys and you want some fun little random bonkers memento, that would be a good one to go for. And that does it for the news, but not for the episode, because now it's time for the call-in section. So this is where all of the Patreon supporters and channel members can call in, and we can shoot the breeze and talk shop about all the items that have been discussed today. So guys, if you want the chance to call into the show, then either sign up on the Patreon or join the YouTube channel members section, and then I'll post a link there every time we do this, and you can be a part of displaying model behavior. So let's go and find out what is going on in the group today. So let's see if hopefully technology works out for me, if I can put Junior on the stream. So, hey Junior, you're on the show. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, fantastic. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. You know, you can't hear me. You can't hear it right now, but my heart is beating really fast right now.
That's all right, man. Thank you so much for calling in. This is really good fun. What is it that you wanted to chat about?
So, basically, I just right now I'm basically waiting for the Gorr figure to go on pre-order because it's going on 1 p.m. So it's like 10 minutes away.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I didn't actually know that was going live at 1 p.m. So thanks for actually bringing some proper news to this channel as opposed to me just talking nonsense. So, dude, have you read the Gorr comics, or are you just you're a fan of the design?
I'm a big fan of the design, and I plan to get the Mayfix door, so I think it's gonna look really good next to that door.
Oh, dude, actually, yeah, that is going to be perfect, because I was tempted to get Mayfix Thor, but I'm worried that he might be a little bit small. But because Gorr is actually meant to be a big dude, that would work perfectly. So those guys would scale really, really well together. That's a good idea, man.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Thank you so much for calling in. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep these quick and fast and snappy. So, Junior, man, absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for calling, man.
Thanks.
Speak to you soon. All right, next up, we have got Sherlock. If I'm pronouncing that right. Sherlock? Well, you can tell me yourself. Hey, man, how's it going?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on the show. What's going on? What are we talking about today?
It's Sherlock.
Sherlock.
Yeah. So if anybody played the old Dragon Warrior games back on the old school NES system.
Dude, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
yeah, that's where it comes from. But
all right, well, I'm glad that because I see your name pop up all the time, so now I know it's Sherlock. Sherlock, dude, what's going on, man? What are we talking about?
Not much, man. Just was looking forward to the opportunity to talk to you. So,
mate, thanks so much for calling in. Well, I mean, since I've got you here now, dude, what is it? What is it that you're into as far as collecting is concerned? Are you a Marvel Legends guy? Is it McFarlane? What's going on?
My backdrop is slightly less impressive than yours, but you can see my classifieds back there a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. So, working on that. I think I sent you a couple of pictures of the custom low light head I was working on over there on Instagram.
Dude, yeah. Whenever I see some customizing skills, I'm always impressed because I've got goose egg customizing skills, nothing going on. So when I see people who've got some skills there, that's wicked.
It's probably been 15 years since I did any kind of custom work, but I saw that low light head on eBay and I grabbed it, and it was just a gray resin print. So I thought, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. See what happens.
That's fantastic, because especially if you got it printed already and then you've got the skills to kind of bring it to life with the paintwork. That's really nice. Again, I
liked how it turned out, so I thought it turned out pretty decent.
You should do, man, because I wasn't even familiar with low light, so that's one thing that's been fun about collecting classifieds is I'm learning all about these new characters as they get announced.
Well, and of course I bought it and painted it, and then I think the next day or something like that, next 2 days, Hasbro announced that he was in the pipeline. So I'm like, of course he is.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much because Hasbro seems to have a lot in the pipeline, so I think we're going to be waiting a while for that guy. Sherlock, thank you so much for calling in, man. I'm going to spin on to the next person.
No problem.
Dude, it's a pleasure. See you later.
Care,
Take it easy. All right, now then, we've got coming in, we got Red's Workshop. Red's Workshop, welcome to the show. What's going on, my friend? Hey, there you are.
There we go. Hello. I wanted to put on some headphones so that there was no feedback or anything.
Dude, crystal clear. Sounding good.
All right, perfect.
All right, how's it going, my friend? What's going on with you? Talk to me.
Not too bad at all. It's great to hear from you. I wanted to ask, so you mentioned a Street Fighter figure release earlier in the episode.
Yes, I did.
Have you seen anything about the Power Rangers Street Fighter crossover?
Whew. Dude, yes, I've seen a couple of the figures. I think they've released images of the first two
so far, yeah.
Dude, it's one of those classic things where I'm like, these look amazing, but I don't know if I can justify the price because they're expensive, but they do look. They remind me, unsurprisingly, of the Power Rangers Ninja Turtles matchup.
Yes.
Especially the Green Ranger Shredder, who's one of my favorite figures.
Oh, that figure is beautiful.
Yeah. So are you gonna be all in with these? Are you gonna be picking these up?
That's what I'm struggling. I want to, but they're charging the deluxe price, so it's like $35 for them, US dollar. You know, like I want to. I really want to.
Yeah. But there's nothing worse than buying a figure that you should love, but looking at it and being like, you are so expensive. So
yeah.
If I see them in person, I might be swayed, even if I just buy it for the review, because I buy it, review it, play with it, and then I might rehome him. That seems to be the routine, but I don't know if I'll be able to let him go once I got them in hand. Which one are you more taken by, like the Chun-Li or the Ryu one?
I'm personally leaning more towards the Ryu, but so I have the Power Rangers fighting game, Battle for the Grid, and so they have the crossover like characters in the game, and I usually play as Ryu, and my girlfriend normally plays as Chun-Li, so I might end up needing to buy one for me, one for her.
I tell you what, if that's not couples goals, I don't know what is. Dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna move on, but man, thank you so much for calling in. Always a pleasure. Take it easy. All right, guys. This is actually, I tell you what, I wasn't sure how well this was gonna work. I give myself a little pat on the back. This is good fun. I'm enjoying this. Right. Next up, we have Joe 2. Joe 2, welcome to the show.
Yo, Dave, what's going on?
Yo, dude, I tell you what, like I said, man, I'm having a good time doing this. This is a lot of fun. What's going on with you, man? What are we talking about?
So, Dave, like last month, the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack was
it was kind of debut. Yeah.
Yes, like my question is like, I think that it looks better than the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man because it's a smaller looking sculpt, plus like the colors are slightly brighter. So like, what are your thoughts on it?
Dude, I tell you what, you took the words out of my mouth in some regards. Like the brighter colors, they do look nice. I love Renew Your Vows Spidey. I've got him right behind me. He's gorgeous. But if the blue was a bit more of a sky blue, I would like that. But being a smaller Spider-Man makes perfect sense with him being a more teenage kind of Peter Parker, like a college age Peter Parker. So is it safe to say like you are going to pick that 3-pack up? Is that a definite pre-order for you?
Yes, 80s Spider-Man is my favorite era of Spider-Man with John Romita Jr.'s early art. And just how the symbiote was introduced and everything. It just 80s for me with the marriage of Spider-Man was just my era of Spider-Man.
Good times, man. Good times. Do you know if those are cell shaded? I can't remember if they're cell shaded or not.
I think Iceman is, but Firestar and Spider-Man are not.
Okay, that's kind of unusual. But then again, maybe they wanted to, give you the chance to put Iceman in with your cell shaded X-Men figures, perhaps. But yeah, I'm going to be very interested once we start seeing some reviews of those guys online. I think they're going to look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what people make of them.
I'm so excited.
Excellent. Dude, thank you so much for calling in. I hope we can chat again on the next show.
But thanks for having me.
Take it easy, man. All right, guys, that does it for the call-in component of this show. Thank you so much, everyone who called to join in. So I'm going to add the call-in section to the end of this episode of Good News, just like a little interactive piece there. So yeah, thank you so much for playing along. That was really good fun. And I'm gonna do just one more. I saw before I left. King just jumped in there at the last second. So I'm closing the phone lines now for new people, but I'm gonna just talk to King real quick. Hopefully he's here waiting for me. King, you're on the show. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi Dave. How are you?
Hey, dude, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for calling in, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about the new Gorr the God Butcher figure. I think it's a good figure.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I was saying I thought the head sculpts look terrific. I think they look really, really great. I think the body, like, he could have done with a bit more work, but dude, just for those head sculpts alone, absolutely fantastic. So are you going to pre-order it?
No, I think £30 is a bit steep for it.
There it is, you see, man. I'm the same. That's the sticking point. You see, I gotta wonder if Hasbro are maybe losing money on sales that they could have made. Because if he was $20 or even like 21, 22, I would have pre-ordered that instantly, like no question. But for 30, it's an easy pass for me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, absolute pleasure, man. Thanks very much for calling. I'll speak to you again soon.
See ya.
All right, and I'm going to close the phone lines. See, this is how you're always going to get me, because I can't bear to leave anyone hanging. Before we go, I'm just going to talk to Domfire real quick. Domfire, dude, you're on the show. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how's it going, man? You doing all right?
Yep. I mean, my school's starting up soon, so that kind of sucks.
Hey, you got to get back to it, man. I was gonna say I remember my school days, but dude, that feels like a long time ago. But man, far more important than school. What are we talking about action figure wise? What's going on with you?
For me, I've been checking out the Gorr the God Butcher. It's kind of cool, but I feel like it would have been cooler if it had pinless arms and legs.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think he looks really cool. But when you're talking about a figure that's going to be about $30, there needs to be something more than just a basic figure. So what he does have going for him does look really nice with the sculpt and the head and stuff. But is $30 like, is that a cutoff for you? Are you going to go for him, or is he just too expensive?
Maybe if he gets on discount.
See, there it is. And the Amazon ones, the Amazon exclusives, like they do tend to go down. Like people do tend to, get those at a reduced price. I saw the Wolverine 5-pack, like that went down in price, and so many other ones do. Not always a guarantee, but yeah, definitely worth hanging on for. I think I might do the same. I'll pick him up if I see someone selling him cheap. What's your main, like, do you collect a lot of sort of Thor type characters, or do you have one sort of specific kind of area that you collect?
Yeah, I mean, I mostly collect like villains, like villains, like from
that's perfect.
Each hero, and
Dom, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but you just muted yourself there.
To spawn.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah. If you've got a mainly sort of villain type group, then that's perfect. Gorr's going to fit right in. In fact, like I dare say, he might even be essential. So you could justify that 30. But if you can get him cheaper, yeah, it's worth hanging out just in case. You might be able to find a bargain. All right, dude. Thanks so much for calling in. I'll speak to you soon. All right. I can see a pattern developing here. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. So I was about to leave, and then Deej jumped into the green room. And man, you're like an OG channel supporter, man. I can't leave you hanging. Let me bring you onto the show. Amazing.
Howdy.
Howdy ho. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. Doing fine. So, dude, just as you can see, my collection is all behind me. So there it is.
Looks nice, actually, man. That's a good little setup you got going on there. Do you have, as I was saying before to Domfire, do you have like a particular area that you collect, or is it just like a broad spectrum?
Predominantly, a lot of the comic version of the Marvel Legends. I did get into the MCU side, so Yeah, but it's mostly all Marvel. I do have stored away, but not up for display, is some Star Trek items. I used to get the old Playmates Star Trek figures, a few of their ships and stuff like that. But as you can see, you run out of space really quick.
Yeah, space is a premium. Yeah,
it
absolutely. Is. I did sell a load of stuff, and now every time I walk into my room, it feels so empty. I kind of surprise myself when I walk in. I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm used to seeing.
Exactly, right.
But then it does let each individual figure kind of stand out a bit more.
It does. And even when I've got them crowded up on the shelf there, at least, one of the nice things is having that black background for me. I do have some little puck lights that I put up underneath the shelves. So if it really, helps, they help sometimes to go and help accentuate them a little bit. But aside from that, though, having that black background brings out a lot of the color, brings out a lot of the dynamics sometimes. And then that little light helps out now and then. So, but it's good. I catch myself watching it, I'll just hang out there and just look at them, when I've had those long work days, it comes in handy.
I find as funny as it sounds, I have 2 times in the day that I can sit and admire my figures, and it's when I'm brushing my teeth. I got an electric toothbrush. It goes for 3 minutes, and at 3 minutes I'll just stand there and be like, nice.
There's an idea right there. That's beautiful.
There you go. It's a quick 3 minutes then. Look at that. Pearly whites.
Absolutely.
So, Duke, but before we go, is there anything that's like in the news at the moment that's on your mind, or anything that's on your pre-order list? What's sort of going on right now?
Oh boy, the pre-order list is incredible. Just seeing all the Spider-Man. Obviously, we haven't gotten a lot of the Spider-Man figures out where I'm at right now. So we're waiting for them. We got a few Targets are supposed to be coming on out, and of course they're delayed. So we're waiting on those. So it's actually been quite. I think I mentioned it last time. Is I got a bit of a lull going over here, and So I'll take the break though. My wallet could always use the break.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been the same. After a couple of busy days, it is peaks and troughs, and at the moment it's a little more quiet, which is giving my wallet a chance to breathe. Nothing wrong with that. No complaints. All right, Deej, I'm going to move on, but thank you so much for calling, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Good seeing you.
Speak to you soon, my friend. Bye-bye. All right, that was... I might be here for a while, mightn't I? No, this is officially the last call-in now, okay? If anyone else jumps in the chat, I'll get you next time, okay? Because we've got one final call to take us home, and that is with the man himself, Thomas, bringing you onto the show. Thomas, good to see you, brother.
Hello, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks, my friend. Glad that I can wrap up this little call-in show with you. What's going on, man? What's going on in your world? What are we talking about?
Okay, so I have a quick story.
Yesterday, go for it.
I was with my family watching my dad play cricket, and I was scrolling through my phone and saw, they're making a new Gorr the God Butcher Gorr the God Butcher figure. And I went to a Comic-Con the day before, and guess what figure I bought literally the day before?
Son of a biscuit.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, someone is going to be able to do some head swaps now.
Yes.
And accessory swaps and everything else as well.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking, do I sell it? But I still kind of like the figure, so I'm probably just going to get both. But yeah.
Well, certainly, as far as like a screen likeness is concerned, like they did a good job with that MCU Gorr. So I mean, it's up to your own sort of personal taste as to whether or not you like that design. But the actual the quality of that figure is a decent figure.
Yeah, he is. No, I like him, and I think Christian Bale was the best part of that film, so that's why I got him. But
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, and I thought, I haven't got a Gorr. I didn't foresee them making a comic version in the near future until the day after they did. But yeah, anyway.
Dude, I tell you what, that's always the way, isn't it? It's the same with buying an old version of a figure, or even getting someone to make a custom of a figure. It's like, right, that guarantees that Hasbro is then going to make the one that you were after.
Yeah,
absolutely. So how do you feel about sort of the price of the new Gorr? Like, you feel like you're sort of getting your money's worth, or like is £30 like borderline?
I don't know. It is a bit. It is more expensive, and there is kind of that deluxe kind of price point that. And like I got the War Machine Deluxe for around about that price, and you get so much more with the War Machine than you do with the new Gorr. It seems like. So I'm a little bit iffy about that, but knowing me, I probably will just get it anyway.
Hey, look, I don't blame you because in fairness, like there's the body's mostly repaint, but man, just those head sculpts, dude, they just look the business. They look so good. So I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion when you get him in hand. Because by the looks of things, I don't think you'll be disappointed. He looks like he looks like a nice figure. He'll look good on the shelf.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent, dude. I'm going to wrap that up now, but thank you so much for calling in. Always a pleasure. And folks, that does it for this episode of Good News. What did you think about the items covered? Comment below. Let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, then you know what you gotta do. You gotta join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you everyone who called in for the post show. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go one step beyond in supporting the channel, then you can go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior and throw a few bucks Dave's way. Or you can get yourself a YouTube channel membership. How about that? Very nice. Yes. Or you can check out Dave's other channels, displaying miscellaneous behavior and model behavior wrestling. Oh, and go and buy a t-shirt. Not enough people are buying t-shirts. That makes Doom angry. Doom's wearing a t-shirt under your armor here. You can't see it, but I'm wearing one. It looks great. Go buy one yourself. All right. That'll do.
Big time